Hey, welcome to another edition of Comparative Reasoning. I'm your host, Sidra Kennedy, and look, so people fleeing New York, is that true? Or to read it properly, people fleeing New York? Alright, so reported by RT's The Resident, people rich and young are fleeing New York, and the reasons being, as she said, is, and I'll put the link in the description below, alright? But, yeah, saying that the rich people are leaving because, the jobs are just drying up. People aren't working, so they're not making the money they used to. That's not exactly what she said, but that would have to be the reason. The young are fleeing New York because there are no jobs because they're all closed down. They can't work. They got to move in with mom and dad. They got to leave state. And as she reported, that the rich, the well-to-do are moving to places in Connecticut. Some of them. So 40% of the rich and wealthy are leaving New York. I don't know what percentage. She didn't say a percentage of the young, I don't think. But she said that a lot of people are leaving. And, yeah, she's not including the fact that these people are leaving. It's not because there's no money. They're leaving because they're scared. They know it's real. They know. And yes, she was bragging. She was very braggadocious. But you need to leave here anyway. The rich is, they help shut down mom and pop stores. They run out businesses and things like that. They just ruin society all around financially for everybody. And I get that. I understand that. But they've been there all this time and they're leaving now. No, there's a financial reason and there's a pandemic reason. And here's the problem. That's how this mess got here in the first place. Some of these rich, well-to-do people, some of these people that are asymptomatic, these people that might have symptoms, but I can't get sick. It's just this because I can't have that because I'm too scared to have that. When they were in places like Italy and China, They were in those places at the time, and then they come back to the United States. They spread their shit because people here don't want to admit when they got a contagion. People are afraid to admit that. It's just like if you watch certain old movies and stuff about the new person in town where no one knows and everyone's looking out their window. Just no one says anything, no one greets them. They just look out their windows. And this person always enters the town when there's nobody outside. That's what a lot of places are becoming. Just looking outside, who's there? And if you're there, then you're the enemy. It's happening. This right here is something that I had already predicted. When states start to close down, things start to dry up. There's no prospects. People are going to leave and they're going to spread it elsewhere. I said that months ago. And they were already doing it, traveling and stuff like that. This is the problem. And she said, what she say? If it's New York, we're in New York. You can make it here. You can make it anywhere. And she's like, get going and stuff. I'm like, you don't realize the whole point of your own damn slogan. It's your state, your slogan. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Why? Because New York was that damn hard. It was hard because everything is so expensive. Even back in the 1930s when New York was honestly the best, the best setup to have a society make it and prosper all together. But greed killed the ability for it to actually do that. Because you don't want everyone having exactly what you have, right? They say in pro wrestling. I've heard it said in pro wrestling, before even the last 10 years. But, the special guy to see was always a giant. That dude that was like 6'11" to 7'2" or 7'4", 7'5". That was the spectacle. You don't see him often, but when you do, it was like, whoa, that dude is big. But then, that's the traction, and then that's what's put asses in seats. So what happened? You start hiring more giants. Well, then if everyone's a giant, then who's the giant? It loses how special it is. And that's what most places are. Okay, you've got an even playing field and everyone has a chance, but then you pull in that giant. And now everybody wants to be that giant, but then you got a giant that's got special privileges and things like that that's knocking everyone down. The giant ain't the attraction, the giant is the enemy, but then everybody still wants to be the giant despite how much they hate it. That New York was the first extreme failed experiment. Because if you took away the giant, or the giant was there but not blocking anyone, it would have been all right. No high prices, everything at a moderate price, nothing trying to match the stock exchange or anything like that. No, just a good living area. You can go job to job, you get paid under the table, or over the table. You get taxed or not, basically what that is. And, it's all good. And everyone can live. You can live in your own apartment. The apartment don't have to be, $1,200 a month. It doesn't have to be $1,800. It doesn't have to be $2,300 or $2,500 a month. No, the apartment would easily be $400 or $500, and you're making enough to pay off for 2 or 3 apartments. Then you are living good. You are fine. You can build a nest egg. You can build in general, and help your fellow man out. Help your fellow neighbor. Help your fellow woman. Help your fellow out. That is what it could have been. That's how it could be today. Right now, with everything slowly but assuredly somewhat tearing down, do we have the opportunity to rebuild it right? And with everyone wanting to go back to work blindly, faithfully go back to work without anything with that, then we're just going to rebuild the very thing that put us in the financial crisis that we've always been in for all these decades. So it's good when somebody does a report, but they explain other things. It's very important. And for this, the resident did not do well yet again, because this isn't about just money. It's about a pandemic. And one person in the comment section said they're fleeing because they know something big is coming. And that could be true as well. I don't know if it is true, but it could be. And that's what people need to watch out for. So I hope that those that flee New York realize that they're probably going to spread this virus to places that might just have been on leveling that field and maybe stomping it out slowly but surely. You're going to see resurgences as people move from one major area to smaller areas. You're going to see spikes because they're going to want to be out and they're going to think it's safe because it's the outdoors, it's windy, no one's going to get it. It's going to be all kinds of excuses to go and do whatever you got to do to get what you got to get, even if it's a lot of stuff that you don't even need. Anyway, this has been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.